much that in our poverty, in our hell, I will come and deliver the broken, destroyed, messed up, poor, impoverished people. I'm going to save.
Young niggas ain't tough. Young niggas ain't tough.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Baqashyah, Baqashyah, all the sisters, man. Listen, it's Captain 13,000, a card of a rhyme, checking in with the Israelite School of U.P.K. under Commander Junior Hunter. Listen, man, this year's 52nd annual Passover. Hold on, I'm gonna say it one more time. This year's 52nd annual Passover under Commander Junior Hunter under the I.S.U.P.K. Couldn't do it last year. Y'all already know the Lord had his foot on our oppressor's neck.
Here in New York City, there are roughly 1,000 cases a day. Those are numbers they haven't seen since May.
Can't do it in New York this year because the Lord still got his foot on our oppressor's neck.
New York, the center of the outbreak this spring, is now teetering on another deadly explosion of the virus.
But listen to me good. This year, 52nd annual Passover, April 24th, 2021. You understand? It's gonna be in H-Town, baby.
It's gonna be at the B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do.
2021 I.S.U.P.K. 52nd annual Passover. All the generals gonna be there. All the heavy hitters gonna be there. The daughters of Zion gonna step out with their beautiful long dresses, you understand? Strong on deck. That One West style music on deck. 52nd annual Passover.
B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Get with it to get lost, man.
Got it out the mud, straight up out the base. The world done made me crazy. The world done turned crazy. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I'm siding with the Lord, of course. On one accord. We ain't never stopping now. You running now. All my niggas go to ground. We go.
Shalom. Baqashyah, 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 to the sisters. I'm President Captain TITHES with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, telling you to come out to the 52nd annual Passover under Commander General YAHANNA. Yeah, man, it's going to be at the ranch, man, the BH Ranch. And it's going to be a glorious event. April 24th, come to Houston, Texas, where we're going to serve the Lord the way he's supposed to be served. You understand? We're going to celebrate the destruction of our enemy in the BH Ranch, and it's going to be a glorious event. Make sure you come out, man. It's going to be a $200 fee to get in, but let me tell you something. You're going to enjoy yourself. This is going to be the best event you've ever been to in your life. So I'm going to tell you, man, 14149 Players Street, come out, man, and enjoy the brotherhood and sisterhood under Christ. With that, shalom.
You're live.
It's like if you put me, turn on, and it's on. Baqashyah. Yeah, there we are. Shalom, DC, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, start on 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth of the Bible, and the truth is that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true Jews according to the Bible, and our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Yeah, right. Our oppressor, who is the head of this earth. If you do not know who that is, all you got to do is just look out your window, open up a newspaper, look, turn to your computer and open up your phone book and see who's actually oppressing the entire earth. that oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
There is no man, there is no people, there is no nation on the face of this earth that this oppressor has not oppressed, has not had his foot on their neck. And that's been from the time he from the time he came out. His spirit was that of war. You know what I'm saying? And since we've been in captivity up under him for so long, we try to connect ourselves to him. You know what I'm saying? We think that whatever he does is good. Whatever he thinks is good, and we try and attach our people to our mindset to it. And only thing has gotten us is destruction. You know what I'm saying? Only thing that we've gotten in reward for it has been more oppression. You know what I'm saying? More dope fiends in our families, more drug deals in our families, more prisoners in our family. You know what I'm saying? More strippers, more of our kids have been molested because of all this ideology that we try to attach ourselves to. And it goes way back in our history. Goes way back to the time of Egypt. When Moses came, he cast his seat that he had in Israel. He cast the seat aside for us. He actually came down to the slums and he wanted to help. You know, he saw two brothers fighting, two brothers arguing. They knew what he had did before. You know what I'm saying? When he had killed the Egyptian for us, he shouldn't have done that, because the Most High gave us rules, laws, and commandments. We shouldn't murder, but he did that for us. You know what I'm saying? Even in our destruction, in our destroyed mindset, we still think of that, you know, some of the things that we do, no matter how horrible it is, we still think we're doing it for our people. You know what I'm saying? We think we go out there, sell some drugs, so that the water. We then if we sell some drugs, you know, we can provide for our kids. We can provide for our woman. The Most High said, no, that's not the way. You ain't supposed to sell poison, whether it's to your people or to any other people. We ain't supposed to be doing that, period. You know what I'm saying? So when Moses had committed that murder, he wasn't supposed to do that, even though he was, you know, his mindset was, I'm trying to help my brother out. He was the second in command of the damn nation. All he had to do was say, man, step back, stand down. And that soldier would have listened to him. He didn't have to go out and kill him. But, you know, at that time, he wasn't the Moses. He wasn't in the truth. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until he was cast out of Egypt and the Most High came to him and told him, you know, gave him the truth, handed him the keys to the castle, was when he actually realized, you know, really embodied who he is and who he's serving. You know what I'm saying? And then when he came to help out his brothers was like, what, you gonna you gonna kill us? Because the two brothers was fighting. You gonna kill us like you killed that Egyptian? We gotta cast all the ideology out of ourselves that is from this other nation, this other people. Why? Because they have no control. They have no moral compass. They have no guidance. All they do is like they like flow. You know what I'm saying? They do what they think is right today. They do what they think is right in this moment for a time. Right. They change their minds and do something else, and then we're not like that. We have certain laws, statutes, and commandments that guide us and lead us to salvation. Stuff that, you know, that's going on in this kingdom now, all that crap that's going on with Lil Nas X, like, come on, man, are you serious? Like, yo, we are so destroyed that you know, this is what we resort to in order to get some change. we resort to doing something like that. And you know what? What's doubly evil? There's a lot of people out there that are saying, that are up in arms about it because he's twerking on the white man or the oppressor's imagery of the devil, right? But you take that figure, you just take that figure away, and it's the same thing. All of our music is the same thing. You just take that imagery of that man twerking on the devil, the so-called devil, and you got the rest of our music. You know what I'm saying? What's the difference between, that ideology? What's the difference between that and WAP? What's the difference between that and who shot you? You know what I'm saying? What is the difference? Everything that we've been doing musically, lyrically, in the past 20, 30 years has been, I'm going to prostitute my sister out. I'm going to shoot my friend and take his woman. I'm going to sell these drugs. And Lil Nas X is twerking on. I'm not condoning what he's doing. What he's doing is an abomination. But there's no difference than Who Shot You. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than WAP. It's no different than Hit 'Em Up. It's no difference in any of the music. There's no difference in the box. You know what I'm saying? It's no difference. There is no difference in body yada yada. There's no difference in that. You got something, brother?
Yes, sir. What's so crazy about that and so heavy about that? And I was just thinking about it. It's not just the fact that you hate yourself because you know who you are.
Right.
So you want to be something different. You want to be the devil. That's how much you hate yourself.
You're right. We have been in captivity so long. We have been destroyed so long that we don't want to be a black man. We don't want to be a Hispanic man. We don't want to be a Native American Indian man. We want to be this devil.
Right.
And this devil uses that in order to control the rest of us.
Damn right.
You'll find someone hungry enough to twerk on the devil so that the masses of us will submit to this debauchery,
sickness,
this illness, this sickness. Yes, and his ideology is like the coronavirus. It's a disease. It's deadlier. You know what I'm saying? Once it gets in us, we need the Most High to vaccinate us. You know what I'm saying? Because all this stuff is just destroying us. All of it is just destroying us. But let's get into let's get into the topic of the night. We can go on forever for that.
Oh, absolutely.
We can go on forever, man. It was a movie that just came out about the U.S. versus Billie Holiday.
Okay.
And how just the music that we had from then to now is night and day. This sister was 22, 23 years old when she got on the FBI's radar. And from that point on, they spent her entire life hunting her down, trying to discredit her, trying to stop her for singing the truth of what was happening to us. The thing that put her on the FBI's map was a song that she created, that she made, and she performed throughout her life. No matter how bad they try to discredit her and try to take her down, was called "Strange Fruit." Have you ever heard the song "Strange Fruit"?
No, sir.
You've heard the song "Strange Fruit"? So "Strange Fruit." If you once you get a chance, if you got just go on YouTube and Google and YouTube "Strange Fruit." It's about how our oppressor treats us, how our oppressor is lynching us and hanging us from trees. This stuff was happening. It was actually happening. It's no doubt in my mind. She's probably seen some of that because a lot of times us back in those days, we've actually we've either eyewitnessed we've had to go down and cut someone down from a tree, one of our loved ones, one of our friends, one of our neighbors, one of our classmates, our co-workers, we had to actually go out and cut someone, or we knew, you know, our neighbor next to us knew someone who had to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? We had to that was a close experience to us. We seen that. Just like today, we know people who gotten beaten over the head by the police. And if we don't know, if it hadn't happened to us, we may know someone who's it happened to. And if we don't know someone who's it happened to, we know someone whose family member or co-worker who's it happened to. You know what I'm saying? It's just that 6 degrees of separation. You know, we know everybody. That's what they say. But this 6 degrees of separation with police brutality, you know, with dope fiends. You know, we got dope fiends in our families. We got prostitution in our family. We got child molestation in our family. Things that are happening to us now is the same things that was happening to us back then. And just like Billie Holiday was singing about how we were being lynched and hung from trees, the government tried to basically shut her down, try to shut her up. You know what I'm saying? And all she was doing was telling the world what we as a community, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, already know. How they put smallpox in doggone blankets and gave it to us. Yep. Seriously? Disease, you know. I totally understand why our people are so standoffish with the vaccine, because our oppressors has done so much negative stuff to us, you know what I'm saying? But there's so much, they have so many other weapons. So many other weapons in hand. The vaccine is not one of those weapons to destroy us. If your doctor says, if you're scared of the vaccination, if you listen to me, if you're scared of the vaccination, go to your doctor, listen to your doctor. If your doctor tells you you should get it, follow the advice of your doctor. If your doctor tells you you shouldn't get it, follow the advice of your doctor. The hell I know. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's go on with our topic. Our topic of discussion is be content with what the Most High gave you.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't go off and be like, you know, I got this job making this amount of money, but I want his job. I don't want a job like him doing what he's doing. I want his position. I want to do what he's doing, exactly where he's going. The office he sits in, the chair he sits in. I want his office. I want his parking spot. That's very purple. You know what I'm saying? That's very purple rain.
Damn right.
What the Most High gives us is already, and there's a scripture on that, you know, basically saying it's my
What you look for?
No, I'm just paraphrasing. He's basically saying, Most High is saying, is my grace not sufficient enough? Like, yo, you alive. You know what I'm saying? You have a house.
Right. All that.
Paul's saying that. Sorry, Paul is saying that. And he's saying, you know, the Most High said my grace is sufficient enough. You don't have to gobble up every, you know, thing in the earth just to make you, you know, better. Be happy with what the Most High gave you. And David could have fallen from grace, and he actually did. Most High, you know, punish him, even though he was the king of Israel. He was the Most High's chosen to lead the children of Israel. He did fall. He did fall, and we're going to read exactly what he did to make him fall, and the aftermath of his disobedience, of his greed, of his lust. How could you? I often wonder, you know, if you have everything, not even everything, if you have a lot, you have more than most. If you have definitely more than, you know, everybody in your kingdom. Everybody in your block, you have the biggest house, you know, you have the best cars, you have the best clothes, finest jewelry, you know what I'm saying? The baddest ribs. what makes you, what's in you that makes you want not just more, but wants that thing that someone else has. You know what I'm saying? Like if I have all the things that I just named, right? And you have the best pit bull on the block. Why should I want to go and take your pit bull? You know what I'm saying? That's I'm not saying it's your, but that's like your prized possession. Why should I go and want to take yours? That's very purple. You know what I'm saying? That's very purple. You got something, bro?
Yeah, Con, if I may. What you saying is so heavy, man, because it's like that right there. You said why, and if I may, like that's the culture of our oppressor. Our oppressor, came from the caves. You know what I'm saying? It came from the caves. They seen what everything around the earth had to offer. Uncle Bunga. And they seen what the rest of the world and the rest of the earth had to offer, especially looking at the Israelites and just gobbling up all the land that they could get. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just, building themselves up, they had to go conquer it by A, B, C, D, E, F, G in a very tremendous way. And that's like the culture of our oppressor. Everything they see, they want to go get it instead of just the way you just said it as far as, why not just go get your own dog?
Yeah.
Why, you got to take my dog or A, B, C, D. You know what I'm saying?
And here's
that's
the thing, dogs breed. You can wait. Once you go to that brother and be like, hey, when you have pups, can I get one of your pups? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or how did you get your dog to be like that? Teach me. Let me understand so I can get my dog to be like yours. You got something, brother?
I got something. Just asking the question though. You can't say gay no more.
What's that?
We can't say gay no more.
I'm not saying you can't say that, but as far because those our oppressor is in control of our medium to get to reach other brothers and sisters throughout the world. They key in on certain terms and words that if we say that, it's easier for them to justify them shutting us down. So we refrain ourselves from saying things like that, so that we can reach the masses of our people.
You must have changed it because I thought that was the proper term.
What I'm saying is you put that out on YouTube and Facebook like that, it's going to shut our whole stuff down.
Gotcha. And
now we can only teach the people who are sitting in these seats. Gotcha. Because when I came in, it wasn't me coming into these seats; it was through Facebook and YouTube. So we're shutting out a whole lot of other brothers and sisters who can potentially be in here because we can't refrain from using a word. When we can actually open up a thesaurus and use 30 other words that mean the exact same thing.
Gotcha.
So you understand what I'm saying? You got something?
So I just want to comment on what the brother said. Like, it's so ridiculous, and of course, it's just in the kingdom, the wicked kingdom that we live in. What the brother said about the terms it is that we are not allowed to use anymore. Like the history behind that term, or synonyms of that term.
Bundle of sticks.
Purple jazz walkers, all that and above, all of that came from Purple jazz walker, Luther Lick ABC. You understand? You know what I'm saying? But it's ridiculous because it's not like a term that's been used towards Black and Latino people, such as wetback spick, that actually had violent acts followed behind it. It's always been such a boyish thing to say, well, you can't say this. This is what you are, but you can't say this. But there's no bloodshed behind it. But you can say this, you can say that. And no videos getting flagged behind it where bloodshed actually has and families have been destroyed behind these terminologies. But this one, nothing has happened. It's just such a. The point I was trying to bring out is just how bullyish it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That specific community has to be.
They are bullies. Just the act of their disgustingness is a bullyish act. Like, yo, what?
Right.
You had something, brother.
But we can still say picnic though.
Yeah, we can still
say picnic.
Pick a nigga.
Yeah, we can pick.
Israel's always been crafty.
I'm using the word fruit. Fruit.
Listen, honestly, it really doesn't matter what we say.
I'm just getting approval.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what we say. You know what? You want to see judge how the way you are. Nah,
no, rephrase it, bro.
Yeah. I see what the men above you, how they addressed him, and do the exact same thing.
Damn right.
Don't go off and try and test new things. Just do what the brothers above you, the men above you, do what they say, do what they do, say what they say, talk how the way they talk, and you will be straight.
With Salaki, if I may, I be watching like Black Watch and all that, and like the generals and all them, they go all the way off. Like my box is smaller than theirs.
Now on another note, the generals and captains and certain officers can get away with saying things that we can't say. I'm gonna tell you what's been told me. Say it and get checked, and then you'll know not to say that again. All right.
If I may, what do you say?
What do I say?
What would you say?
Man, there's a whole lot of different things. It doesn't have to just be that. You know what I'm saying? We just like the brother was saying, Purple Rain. You know what I'm saying? Purple.
No,
we got a bunch of different, and we can get creative with it too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we can get creative with it too. So it doesn't. Don't just get stuck on a certain set of terminology.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? It's just certain things that are, if we say online or if we say in our posts, it will get flagged and it'll hinder us from pushing the Most High's word. And that's our job. That's our duty, is to bring in as many sheep to the Most High, bring as many brothers to the Most High, put the words in, put the word out, so that the Most High will guide those brothers and sisters in the school. And if we can't, we can still do it if we're blocked. But why walk down to Houston when we could take a plane? You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense to do that. We can walk, but
or drive.
Or drive, yeah, or drive. But when you could take a plane and get there in 2-3 hours, why do that? Why shoot yourself in the foot? So that's the whole reason why we refrain from doing that. In the past, there was no restrictions. In the past, if you see some old tapes, everything was on the table. It was talking, hey, you are that.
Yeah.
You are this. You are that. Get out of here, you this and that. Can't do that no more. Can't do that. And the reason why we can't do that no more is just because we want to reach as many people as we can. That's all. You got something?
Yeah, like you said, back in the day, like there wasn't even no such thing as biracial. It was just flat out, you're that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's get into this our topic. We're going to read 2 Samuel chapter 11. If anybody got it, let me know. Let me know, Barack, if you could. One more game, Baqashyah.
Chapter 11. What's come?
2 Samuel chapter 11. We're going to start at verse 1.
Lucky, you got to hit the see me one more time.
See me one more time, Baqashyah. That's a lot. I appreciate you.
Right.
You got it. You got it, brother, as well.
Come.
I'm just turning this thing.
All right, one second. Let the brother get it. 2 Samuel chapter 11. We're going to read it from the top. You got it?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, you can start, brother. Yeah.
2 Samuel chapter 11, verse 1. And it came to pass, after the year was expired, at the time when the kings go forth to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him, and all Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon.
All right, hold on one there. Who is Ammon today? Who does the Most High call Ammon today? How about you? You take a stab at it.
I take Edomites. Hold on. It was separate. East Indians.
No. You want to take a stab at it?
It's not Esau. Moabite.
No, well, that's another name for another nation. Well, who is Ammon today?
No.
You know? All right, cool.
This is Japanese people.
Japanese.
Okay, so that's what I was trying to get in the 80s.
Well, no. Well, okay. So yes and no.
Okay, so
because Asians today includes Japanese, which is Ammon, includes Elam, which is Indians, the dots, not the feathers. And then you have Moab, which is Chinese.
Okay, gotcha.
And all these other countries, I think most of them are Moab.
Okay.
Philippines, Singapore,
water.
all the other Latin people. But yeah, Ammon is Japan.
Gotcha.
Keep going.
And besieged Rabbah, but David tarried still at Jerusalem.
Now, what they're saying is the Israelites were at war with Ammon, and in those days, the king actually went out to war with the nation. This time, David was back at home in Jerusalem. He didn't go out with the army during this time. That's what he means by saying tarry still at Jerusalem. Keep going.
2 Samuel chapter 11, verse 2. And it came to pass in an evening tide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And went from the roof, he saw a woman washing herself.
So this dude just woke up and he was bored, walked around his house, walked around the crib, and he was on the roof of his house and he saw a woman bathing. He was that close to see, a woman bathing. Keep going.
And the woman was very beautiful to look upon.
All right, she was a bad broad. She was a baddie. Even if she wasn't naked. Because, even for a lot of brothers, we see a broad naked, she just, looks better. Like those beer goggles are on when she's naked. But this sister was already a bad sister, fully clothed. He shouldn't even be looking on her because, she was naked. He should have seen that and turn his head. Shouldn't have been doing that. Keep going.
Verse 3, and David sent and inquired after the woman. And one said, is not this babe
Bathsheba,
the daughter of Elam?
So he was like, yo, he called his people. He was like, hey, who is that chick right there? Go and find out who that woman is. I want to know who that woman is. Someone came back and was like, all right, I know her. That's the daughter of Eliam. Keep going.
The wife of Uriah, the Hittite.
The wife of Uriah. Ain't that? That's the daughter of Eliam. I think she's married to Uriah the Hittite. And then that's how the chapter should have ended. That's how the chapter should have ended. As you can see, there are more verses in this chapter.
God.
There's more verses in the chapter. Let me tell you, brothers, you want to stay not only in I.S.U.P.K, but under the Most High graces. If you see a woman who's fair to look upon, and you ask somebody, it's cool to be like, hey, who's this sister right over here? It's cool. That's all right. But then when that brother says, oh, that's that's so and such rib, that's the end of the conversation. There is no, she looks no, there is nothing no more. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. Look on to the next one. That's how this chapter should have ended. You see a chapter ain't ending, and there's going to be a lot more to come from what we're going to read. So one of his servants identified this woman as Bathsheba, possibly a man's rib. Even if it's a possibility, you shouldn't, inquire. That's it. Keep going.
Verse 4, and David sent messengers and took her, and she came in unto him.
So this dude, he's the king of Israel. People are singing songs about him. You know what I'm saying? People are singing songs about him. He is a great warrior. Think about, someone like LeBron. who was the best of the best. At this time, David was the best of the best. No one could best him. When he was but a kid, a teenager, he killed a bear with his bare hands. He killed a lion with his bare hands, and he slayed a giant with nothing but a slingshot and the Most High. This is that dude. You know what I'm saying? When in times of war, because at this time we were entrenched in warfare. And he was the best of the best soldier. He, the special forces guys who have a special forces team. The commander of that special forces team was King David. You could have had anything. You could have had anything you wanted. You could have had anything you wanted. They told him that it was someone's wife. He should have left it alone. But he went and brought her to the castle. And what happened?
And he lay with her.
This dude did some evil wickedness. He saw a woman. He inquired about the woman. The woman, they said she was married. Then he brought her to the castle, seduced her. I mean, she's just as culpable as well. What she did was just as evil. All she had to do was like, thank you, king, sir, Salakia, sir. I am a married woman. I cannot do this thing with you. No. Let me go back. Give me leave to my house and go back on my way. That's it. She's just as evil as what he set out to do and what he actually did. Keep going.
For she was purified from her uncleanness, and she returned unto her house.
So
Verse 5.
They did what they did. She stayed there for a minute, and then she went back to the house. You got something, brother?
What do you mean by unpurified? Purified from her uncleanness. Like she was off her cycle or something?
Yeah. No. When you there's a law saying if you have sex, you're not to come into you are unclean until sundown. That's what they're saying. So he laid with her. I mean, don't get me wrong. When you're on your cycle and then a woman comes off her cycle, then she would be, clean. But in this instance, they're not talking about that. This instance is talking about if you have sex. If you have sex, you are unclean until sundown. And because you're unclean, you cannot enter into the tabernacle, to the house of the Most High. So that's what they're talking about, being unclean. She was purified from her uncleanness. That means she stayed there till the next day. And then she went back to her house.
Wow.
Keep going.
Verse 5. And the woman conceived.
What does it mean to conceive? Real quick.
She had a child.
Yeah, she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And sent and told David and said, I am with child.
How many times have we... How many times has brother has gotten, some news like that? You lay with a woman, you weren't supposed to be laying with. And then she come back and hit you, be like, yo, I'm pregnant. I don't know what's
Judah for you.
I don't know how many times, brothers have heard that, I don't know what's worse, the flashing lights in the back, knowing you got a package in the trunk, or a woman who you ain't supposed to be laying with, saying you got, either way you're gonna get some time. Either way you get some time. So she came back and told, King David, hey, she's pregnant. And it's yours. I ain't been with nobody else. It's yours. Keep going.
2 Samuel, chapter 11, verse 6. And David sent to Joab, saying, send me Uriah, the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to David.
So he thought this out. He was like, all right, this chick is pregnant. We're gonna have to handle this. There was no abortion clinics back in those days. So he had to handle his indiscretions in a certain fashion, and this was the fashion that he thought he was going to do. Keep going.
Verse 7. And when Uriah was come unto him, David demanded of him how Joab did and how the people did.
So he's making small talk. Like, hey, well, how's the war going? How's my general doing out in war? Is he fighting a true strong battle? Is he, fighting in the name of the Most High? Is he not, crapping on the Most High's name? How the men doing? What's going on in front? How's the morale on with the troops? Snaky, slimy bastard. He's being Esau right here. He's being our oppressor. This is what Esau does. This is not how we, as a nation, as Israelites, are supposed to act. He's setting them up for the okie doke. He's setting them up. You seen Training Day, right? Everybody here seen Training Day. Mm-hmm. And at the end, he was like, "Man, you planned this crap all day." He was like, "Man, I planned this all week." He was planning this before he got here. Mm-hmm. He was planning this, and he had a plan, and he had a plan A, he had a plan B, and he had a plan C. He's going through all these plans. We're going to see what those plans are. Keep going.
And how the war was prospered. Verse 8. And David said unto Uriah, "Go down to thy house and wash thy feet."
Why is he saying go down to your house? No, keep going. We're going to read a little bit more.
And Uriah departed out of the king's house, and there followed him a mess of meat from the king.
All right, so he left, and he sent a whole, feast of food with Uriah. Why is he doing that?
Yeah, trying to butter him up
for what?
The kill. I mean, for the bad news.
For the bad news? What do you think?
I think the same thing.
So you butter him up for the bad news. I ain't gonna ask you, bro. You've heard this story before.
Many times.
Let's go. Keep going.
Verse 9. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord.
So what does that mean? King David told him, go home, wash your feet, lay in your bed, but he just, and he sent, some good food, not the food that you get on the front lines, not the memories, not the field rations. He got some food that came from the king's house. So it was a choice meat, the T-bones, the filet mignons. You know what I'm saying? He had, I know, I said it on purpose like that. he had the fine meats. Anybody ever been to a Fogo de Chao? Yeah. The fine choice meats. You know what I'm saying? He sent that out to Uriah, right? Because he wasn't. Even though we're on the front line, we ain't eating like we're going to be eating like we're at the king's house. So he sent all that good stuff to him. However, he slept at the doorstep of the king's door. You know what I'm saying? With all the other soldiers. You had something, brother? You reading ahead, and I ain't gonna call on you. What's up?
He's staying there with his men.
He's staying.
He's not accepting those type of gifts because maybe he thinks something is up with why nobody else is getting it but him.
Maybe. Let's read why he stayed there.
Verse 10. And when they had told David, saying, Uriah went not down into his house.
So his servants told him, like, yo, hey, Uriah going down. Why are they telling him this? Because they know what the hell's going on. They know their setup. You know what I'm saying? They know the okie doke. Right. They're loyal to David, which means they're wrong in this aspect. Not being loyal to the king, but it doesn't matter. Baqashyah says this all the time. If you have an offense, or if you think he's wronged you, or if you offended by anything that he's done, you need to go to him and tell him, like, hey, this is what happened. I think this was wrong. And that's the scripture. That's exactly what that scripture right up there says. And that's why Baqashyah hung it up there, so we can actually exude brotherhood, have brotherhood go throughout this, not only this camp, but through this school.
Yeah, right.
The men under him was reporting back to him because they knew exactly what the hell was going on. So one of his men, even though they're definitely not on King David's level, should have told him, like, yo, you're wrong. Don't do this. Don't do this. And they should have told him, don't do this. You're wrong. But keep going. Keep going with the report that was going on.
David said unto Uriah, comest thou not from thy journey? When then didst thou not go down unto thine house?
So why didst thou not go down to thy house? So he's questioning, hey, bring Uriah here. And they ask him, why you didn't go down to your crib? What's going on? I sent all this mess of meat over here for you. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to go back and chill. It's one day has passed. You're supposed to go back and chill. Since he's gotten there. Go back, you've been in war, you've been fighting. Kick your feet up.
You earned it.
You burned it. Exactly. You burned it.
Good.
You don't know what's going to happen to you tomorrow. Enjoy this day today. I know what's going to happen to you, but you don't know what's going to happen to you.
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 11. And Uriah.
Hold on. Why do you think Uriah, I'm asking again, why do you think Uriah didn't go?
I mean, he was down for his brothers.
Okay, why do you think Uriah didn't go?
Thinking something was up. Like, why am I special?
Okay, why do you think David? What do you think David wanted him to go?
So his girl can come over. So his wife can come over or something.
Nah, like you said, he's beginning, butter him up for the kill.
All right, let's keep reading.
Verse 11. And Uriah said unto David, the ark and Israel and Judah abide in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped.
Hold on. Anybody knows who Joab is at this point?
I've heard that name, but I can't.
How about you, brother?
Right hand man of David.
Brock, tell me who Joab is.
Joab at that time was like the general or the head over his military underneath David. Joab was next in command underneath David of that army.
If we put it in today's terms, King David would be
president.
Commander General YAHANNA would be in King David's seat. General Muhammad would be in Joab's seat. Just to put it in today's kind of terms of how the school's structured.
Right.
That's who Joab is. So he's mentioning him by name. Keep going.
Shall I then go into mine house to eat, to drink, and to lie with my wife?
Well,
okay.
You seeing the okie doke.
I get it.
Right.
You seeing the okie doke.
I get it, man.
All right, keep going.
As thou livest, and as thy soul liveth, I will not do this thing.
So, why do we think David was sending him down to his crib?
So he can lie with his wife and then like they could blame the baby on him.
Come.
That's some white man stuff. That's some Esau stuff.
Mm.
That's some Purple Rain stuff. How you going, bro?
Purple Jazz Walkers.
Purple Jazz Walkers. Purple Jazz Walkers. He said, Purple Jazz Walkers.
I'll see if I have that. Yeah, I got that one on the book. So like,
Made a shirt out of that, champ.
Spirit fingers. So like,
Cha-cha-cha-cha.
So Uriah is none the wiser to what David is trying to do. But Uriah is being a real brother. He was like, yo, my men are out tents. The Ark of the Covenant is out in tents. General Joab is out in tents in the field. So that could be attacked at any moment. Who am I? I'm just one of the footmen. I'm not even, I'm not on their level. Who am I to go home and lie with my wife when my men are still out there? My brothers are still out there. So he didn't go out of brotherhood, solidarity. Like, I can't do this when they're out there like that. I can't. I just can't. Now, even though the king ordered him to do it, because it said the king. Let's told the king, hey, go back home. King tells you to do something. I'm just gonna give you a little advice. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna get to you. I've come to learn. I've come to learn. I've come to learn that when dealing with Cap, he'll say something, and it'll be, it'll be in terms of a suggestion. But he's really saying, go and fucking do this thing. I'm just giving you a little bit of advice. He's really saying, go and do this, It may sound like, a suggestion, but he's really saying, go and do this thing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Just a little advice when you guys interact. Should you interact with Cap? And maybe if he says this is not in order, then it's not in order. It's a suggestion. But if he's just talking to you and he's like, yeah, maybe you should go ahead and try and do this. He's really like, yo, this is what you need to do. Right. And the reason being, all the men above us, captains and generals, they've seen it all. You come to them with a problem, with an issue, with something that you may think you can't handle. Don't ever think that you're not the only one that's ever been through that. Don't ever think that they have never seen something like that. All the different outcomes of what people have done throughout the years. When he's telling you, maybe you should do that, just go ahead and do it. Don't even if it seems, like out there and crazy. It's not. It's not. The Lord is with them. And when you actually do that, the Lord is with you. Just follow it. Just do what the man above you is saying. In this case, he was being, Edomitish. He was being very Edomitish. He was being deceptive. He was being deceiving. He was trying to trick his brother into thinking, that he can go in line with his wife, and his wife all of a sudden be with child, and it'll be his. Why? Because you go to war, and in that time, I can't say we didn't have any thoughts, because this is a thought right here. You could leave your woman and go somewhere and not have to worry about, who she talking to, who's trying to push up on her. At that time, we really didn't have to think about that. So if he would have go and lay with her, it wouldn't have been a question like, is that mine? Are you sure? You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have been a question, because certain things we take for granted. Whereas now, everything is suspected, So a woman come and tell you, hey, I'm pregnant. Like, all right, well, let's get a paternity test. Make sure it's mine. Times like, back then, things like this really didn't happen. It wasn't prevalent in our nation. And there will come a time where it won't be prevalent in our nation anymore. But you got something, brother?
Basically, I was saying about what's the name again? Uriah. That he was being a true patriot when he was talking about how he was questioning, why should I be special? He's just being a true patriot.
I understand what you're saying, but I just don't like saying that word, patriot. because he was being a brother. Right. He was being a brother. He was being a true brother. He was being one for his country, his nation. I don't like using that. I understand what you're saying. No. He's definitely down for his brother. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. I just that when you say that, it's just.
If I may say, I appreciate that, because I'm trying to sing the same song as everybody else.
No sweat. Let's keep going, brother.
It was all great.
2 Samuel chapter 11, verse 12. And David sent unto Uriah, tarry here today also, and tomorrow I will let thee depart.
All right, so he's saying, all right, man, all right. You ain't go to your crib tonight. I understand why you ain't go, but stay here tonight. Stay here tonight, and you know you go home tomorrow. What's going through David's head?
He definitely gonna have to do something there because he can't let everybody find out that he got his wife pregnant.
What about you, brother?
I'm not reading ahead. Just think.
You look like you.
Rereading it.
Read from the top.
Come on, sir. 2 Samuel chapter 11, verse 12. And David said unto Uriah, tarry here today, today also, and tomorrow I will let thee depart.
Okay. What do you think is going on? Okay, keep. Will you ask something?
Yeah, because he tried to give him a way out to be deceitful.
What do you mean?
Meaning go sleep with your wife. So that way I ain't got to kill you. So now he wasn't in this.
But he don't know that. Uriah don't know that.
Uriah don't, but David do. So he turned down his offer to go to see his wife because he was loyal to his brothers. So now that ain't work. So now you got to do something now.
What does he got to do?
You're going to have to get rid of him.
How about he just come clean?
I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay. That is an option. That is an option.
Definitely.
Man up to your transgressions. You the one who's big and bad enough to commit the sin. And the thing is, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if you tell this man what you did, because the Most High knows. It'll be better for you to get checked by this man than the Most High check you. Did we not read about that brother who stole the garment and the gold? You know what happened to that. His whole line was killed, was put to death. It'll be better for this brother to punch him in his face, punch him in his mouth, and take that fat lip. You know what I'm saying? And let that brother, whatever. It'll be better for that to happen, for him to try and restore the brotherhood. Like, hey, how can I make this right? According to the law, how could King David make this right? According to the law, anybody know? Not you. Anybody know? According to the law.
Come clean and confess of what he did that was wrong to his brother.
Oh.
Anything else?
Die.
You have to give a trespass offering for one.
No, because he committed adultery. So it would be a death penalty regardless if he king or not. You got to follow the law. There's the punishment, correct?
You got to give a trespass offering. That's the first part of it. I know he has to give an offering. If he wants to try to make amends and repent.
Is that your final answer?
I'm going with death because he already done messed up from the beginning for sleeping with the man's wife.
Hold on, I'm gonna get you.
But that's not the first sin that he committed.
No, so I wasn't gonna answer it, but I wanted to say something. But we can let the brother go first.
All right.
Oh, that was my final answer. You might have to take it home.
Hold on.
But that's not the first sin he committed. Then he tried to deceive the brother by giving them special treatment. But the brother stayed righteous to his brothers. So now we ain't read no more yet. But it seems like now you got to take a step further because you already stepped in dog crap now.
So I had two things to say. The question, are you asking as far as what do we think should happen to David right then and there, or being in today's time frame, what do we think should happen?
Okay, well that's a good question.
Because then I
right then and there, at this point in time, before Christ, what should happen if he came clean to Uriah, saying, "Yo, I smashed your wife, and she's pregnant with my kid, and I'm the king of Israel." What you gonna do?
That part right there, I still say death.
What you say? What say you? Bro, give me the law on adultery. Leviticus 12, 10.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely gonna have to. That's his child, so he definitely has to take care of the child.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you gave me your answer on before Christ. What would happen in now?
What happened?
What would happen?
What should
happen? Hold on. What should happen after Christ? Once Christ came and allowed us to have grace, what should happen if he slept with this man's wife, this man's rib? Doesn't matter if he got her pregnant or not. Doesn't matter because he still slept with her. What should happen after Christ?
After Christ, it will be his answer. He will have to take care of that child because that would be his life.
Like he wanted to marry her now. He wanted to marry her.
Okay.
She committed adultery. That used to be his wife, but she committed adultery. So she's supposed to leave her, before that, just for that deed. And she committed adultery, and he slept with her, so that's his wife now.
What say you?
If he chooses to let her go, he has the option to divorce her because she committed adultery. In today's time, after Christ, correct? So he has the option to, as far as Uriah has the option to get rid of his wife. He has the option for that. But David has to take care of that child because that's his seed.
Okay. You got something?
Please, log it. Just to jump back to the time frame of David, at this time, just before Christ's sacrifice, of course. So the law is always around, but of course the law before Christ gave that sacrifice in general, David should have died, or he should have been watched.
Let's get the
You
need to finish.
You're right.
Let's get what the law says on adultery. This is before Christ. So this before Christ is what King David is in at this time. So this is what should happen should he come clean.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
So that tells you about his kid. It doesn't matter. She's gonna be put to death before she has a child. If it's found out, like now, she's with child. She's being put to death. He's being put to death. He comes clean to Uriah. According to the law, he's being put to death, even though he's king of Israel. He should be put to death. Any more on that?
No.
All right. As far as after Christ, you got something?
Yeah, question. That brings me back to Judah with Tamar, right? Like he transgressed. He had sex with a harlot, which he thought was a harlot was his daughter-in-law, who wasn't married to anybody. But what came of that? Like, did he marry her? Wasn't he supposed to marry her? Like, what was supposed to go on with that? Who? Judah with Tamar, because that brings me back to that. Like, he slept with her. She may have tricked him, but he tried to purchase a harlot. Like that's not acceptable. You know what I mean? He still had sex with her. He didn't marry her. Even though he found out who she was and everything. She was promised to all of his kids. They wasn't around to do it. He never got the chance to give him his son. Own it? No. Not own. Who was his youngest son? I can't get the youngest son, but he never got to marry his youngest son to her. And he ended up having sex with her by accident. So, I mean, what came of that? Like, wasn't he supposed to marry her? What? Oh, my bad.
These are two different situations.
Yeah, but I still
she was never married. He loved whores, so she disguised herself as a whore to have that baby to get back at her. So this particular situation right here, he deliberately slept with somebody else's wife while they were still alive. The son, if I'm not mistaken in the story, he talking about his son was her husband died, and she got promised one of the other sons or whatever. This is completely different.
It still doesn't.
He willingly broke the law.
It still doesn't.
But okay, so how do you get married?
By sex.
So he had what? What did he do with this harlot, as you say?
But did he marry?
What did he do? What was the act that you're talking about?
Did he have sex with her?
So what is sex?
Marriage.
So what is the question?
But did he keep her?
I have to get back to you on that, but if he kept her or not, that's his wife.
Gotcha. Because like, other than that, he's supposed to be put to death.
I'm gonna get back to you on that. No, because if he was, hold on, her husband was dead.
Correct.
Her husband was dead. He wouldn't be put to death because she had no husband. The law is, once you have sex, you're married, and you're married for life. Her husband's life was over. She's free to marry again. When he had sex with her, she was his rib from that point on.
Salam, if I may, I never heard of him keeping her, and if he didn't keep her, that's almost the same as adultery, isn't it?
Did you hear of him not keeping her?
No, I didn't.
So why do you automatically assume that he just had sex with her and just left?
Okay.
Unless it specifically says he did something like that, then because you're looking at it with the eyes of 2021. That's the type of wickedness we do all the time as a nation, not men in here. Because the men in here, once you sleep with a woman, that's your woman for life. Yeah. You're looking at it through eyes of 2021. We didn't do that stuff back then. You got something, brother?
Yeah, we never got to finish the whole story. The whole point was where we was getting to that particular day was what happened with him, how he got tricked, and how he got tricked. So we never got into this part about if he kept her or not or anything. But we do know that her husband was dead, and even though he got tricked, he was still married. That was his wife at that point, and she tried to blackmail him with his seal and staff and things like that. So we never really got to go into what happened because we had to do a continuous because remember we ran over time. So that's why we didn't get a chance to finish.
I read the whole story and it really didn't continue on. That's why I had that question in my head: did he keep her or not? So I never saw anything after that.
Don't.
But I got what you're saying.
Don't assume that it's that he slept with her, he married her, and then just threw her away. Don't assume that. Don't assume anything, whether he slept with her and threw her away or he slept with her to keep her. If it says we're going off of the baseline, you sleep with a woman, you married her for life. Right? We're going off of that baseline. That is the truth. That's what the Most High wants. That's how the Most High ordained it. That's how the Most High wants us to do. If it says he married her, he slept with her, he married her, he kept her. Unless it says he threw her away. So don't automatically assume that he did one thing or another. We go off the baseline, the base truth. Once we lay with a woman, that is our woman for life until it says that we didn't do that, or that man didn't do that, or that woman didn't do that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't automatically go and from one thing to another. As far as what David was, if Christ came back, what was your answer? How would he be?
Oh, if I was right before Christ?
After Christ.
Oh, after Christ, he would
he came to Uriah and said, "Hey, this is what I did."
Yeah, Uriah had the option to divorce, would put his wife away. Far as after Christ, far as our laws, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our laws.
He would have the option to get rid of his wife, divorce his wife. He would have that option.
Okay.
And at that point, now I don't know if David would have to keep the woman, but I know that that's his child, so that'll be his line.
All right. So what about you? After Christ came, he gave his life. He ushered in grace for us. He came to Uriah and said, "I laid with your wife, and she's with child." What should happen at this point after Christ?
I would say he would have to take care of the child. That would be his wife. You know what I'm saying? Everybody would have the chance to live for one.
That's the whole point of Christ. Everyone will have a chance to live. That would be his wife. Uriah doesn't have a say anymore. That's not his wife anymore. The second she laid with David, that's David's wife. It's David's rib. She committed adultery. The Most High is going to have to deal with that. The Most High is going to have to deal with both of them. Uriah is in the clear. He didn't do anything wrong according to these scriptures. Now there is a precept where a man can cause his woman to commit adultery, and that will be his fault. Can you get that for me, Brock?
So look, what's the scripture?
Look,
let me paraphrase. What was it?
It was it's
Oh, that's a lot. I just missed the last thing that was said. That's all.
It's a scripture on a man can cause a woman to commit adultery.
Oh, in the Apocrypha, sitting out with another man's wife.
No, that's
not drinking.
No, the husband can if you neglect the woman, you can cause her to commit adultery. Yeah. So it looks like you got it, brother.
He might. If I say, Slocky, is it 1 Corinthians 7, verse 4?
Let's get it. Let's get 1 Corinthians 7. Hold on. Let me get it with you. Hold on. 1 Corinthians 7 and 4. He was like, I got it. Ooh, call me. 1 Corinthians 7 and 4. Let's see. Let's get it. Hold on. One more page. You got something?
Yeah, no, I just. Who you got, sister?
No, what you?
Yeah, no, I got it.
You got what?
The scripture.
The scripture he called out?
No, I already read that one.
Okay, yeah. This is not the scripture that I had in mind. But it's a powerful scripture, 1 Corinthians 7 and 4. This is not the one I had in mind.
The scripture you're looking for is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 32. But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife,
that's it,
saving for the cause of fornication, cause of her to commit adultery, and whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committeth adultery.
That's it. So if you just tired of her, tired of her mouth, tired of her way to do whatever, whatever petty thing that we think that is worthy to put your wife away, which nothing is worthy to put your wife away except for adultery. And you put her away, you're causing her to go find another man and lay with another man and commit adultery. That's your fault. That's the husband's fault. There should be no reason why you're putting your rib away except save it be for adultery. Now, there's another scripture that says if she doesn't want to be with you, let her go. Let her depart. But that's not you putting her away. That's her leaving on her own accord. And she's going to have to deal with the Most High. It's cold out there on the streets. It's cold. Very cold. You know what I'm saying? It's cold. You want when especially if you're in here and you're up under the protection of a man of the Lord, and you choose to leave that protection, Lord be with you. And honestly, in all truth, he's not going to be with you. It's going to be cold out there. You had something, brother?
Yes, sir. So the woman do step out and go sleep with another man. Does he have the option to keep her, or is it automatically that's not his anymore? Or does he have that option to make that decision?
It's automatically not. It's out of your hands. Okay. She married someone else. It's out of your hands. If you try and take her back, you're trying to take another man's woman.
I just need to think throughout.
Moreover, why the hell would you want some polluted land anyway? That land is highly polluted. You don't want that. You don't want a garbage disposal.
I gotta think the what.
You know what I'm saying? You just don't. It's too much. It's too much baggage that comes with. You don't want that. Just start anew. Just cut your right hand off and just move on. You know what I'm saying? Wow. You do not want that. Here's what's gonna happen. I heard General YAHANNA say this. This is what's gonna happen. You try and take her back. That image, whatever image that you have of her laying with another man, is always gonna be in your mind when she's serving you your food. It's always gonna be in your mind when she's picking up your kid. It's always gonna be in your mind when she's on her phone and she giggles for some reason. It could just be a stupid meme that she's looking at. That's always gonna be, and that's gonna cause strife and problems. And you do not want that. There's always gonna be there. A man cannot take another man smashing his rib. Okay. It's just not. It's not gonna end well. So if that happens, you don't want her back. Just let her go. Let her go. Let her deal with the consequences. You know what I'm saying? She belongs to the streets, not to you. Does that answer your question?
Okay.
You had anything about that? No? All right, what's up?
Look, if I may, right, this is so beautiful too, in the context that, this is simply put, by the Lord, by Christ, by saying like that's the only thing you can lead a sister for, and definitely a while back, but I would go as far as a year ago, but definitely a couple months ago, Commander YAHANNA and General YAHANNA have broke down just how beautiful and how that's the greatest love that you can show a sister, because a sister will deny, multiple wives, whatever the case may be, but going towards a man that is in the world, or accepting a man that does not have the truth and not willing to learn the truth, it's like you're not putting yourself in a position to be with a man that will leave you because now you've gained weight, or because you've lost weight, or because you talk too much, or because you don't talk enough, or because your hair fall out, or because your teeth fell out, or because you can't have a child no more, or because you catch a disease. Being in the world allows a man to leave you whenever he just, looks at you as something he does not, attracted to no more, which allows him to leave. And the greatest love, one of the greatest loves that we teach our sisters, we love sisters up here in I.S.U.P.K.
Yeah, right.
But that's because no matter how much, you understand, no matter how much you can push a brother up in the head, we understand before we lay with you that we can't leave you, lest it be that you left me, with another man. You know what I mean? So that's one of the greatest loves that the I.S.U.P.K under Commander YAHANNA has shown towards sisters, is something that you won't get from another brother in the world. If that sister mother don't like you, or father don't like you, and that brother feels some type of way, he can leave you if he feel like it.
That's right.
In the world.
That's right.
Up in the head, we help them sisters battle them demons of insecurities and feeling low about themselves and self-esteem, and pushing them to better goals and just to do better for themselves. You understand? But it's just the greatest love that a sister could ever be shown, is to just we can't leave you, and it shows a form of true leadership. It shows a form of true leadership, and it breeds a brand of children that would never quit.
That's right.
That's something so small. Let's get counsel.
What the brothers bring out is absolutely right. It's absolutely heavy. You up in here? You up in here, and if you want to stay in here, you marry a woman, you lay with a woman, that is your woman for life. Yeah, right. No matter how many demons she battles, she's battling. You're battling those demons with her. Right. No matter how many I'm not even gonna say transgressions. No matter how many arguments, no matter how many sleepless nights that she's up, fussing with you about nothing, that is your woman for life. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to be up, all night fussing about nothing, you want to be up all night, fussing about where she go, who she hang out with, and all that stuff. If you don't want to do that, you need to take the time out to thoroughly vet her in the front half, so that you won't have to live the rest of your life with that, that dragon. You know, you don't want that, man. You just don't want it. So just take the time, whether it be 6 months, a year and 2 years. Because those 2 years, you can come to the end of those 2 years and be like, you know what? I dealt with this enough. I ain't married. You go your way, I'm gonna go mine. You know what I'm saying? And Lord be with you. And there be no sin committed. You know what I'm saying? You come to an agreement like, nah, this unit ain't for us. But the second you lay with her, the Most High is gonna hold you accountable for whatever you know what I'm saying. You are her head. Whatever she does, everybody's gonna look at you. Why is she acting like that? You know what I'm saying? And if you can't, handle that, you cannot leave her. You leave her, you're gonna be out in the cold. You're gonna be out in the streets. Like I said, it's cold out there in the streets. It's cold out there in the streets. You think that you're gonna be up in here after you done laid with a woman and then you choose to leave her? Nah. I'm just giving you brothers fair warning. You lay with a woman, that is your woman for life. If she leaves, that's her decision. You're not gonna leave her. And that's something that women does. Some women, the UPK women totally understand this. But some women, a lot of women don't understand about UPK men. Once we choose you and lay with you, we will never leave. We will never leave you. You just gotta get chose. Just gotta get chose. Anybody else have anything else on this? Let's continue reading. We ain't gonna get through the whole thing.
We stop at the top of chapter 12.
Yeah.
Verse 12. All right, 2 Samuel, chapter 11, verse 12. And David said unto Uriah, tarry here to today also and tomorrow. I will let thee depart. So Uriah abode in Jerusalem that day and the morrow.
So he stayed there, just like King David requested. He stayed there. Keep going.
Verse 13. And when David had called him, he did eat and drink before him.
So hold on. This is important. You may not catch this. He said, read that from the top again.
Verse 13. And when David had called him, he did eat and drink before him.
What does that mean?
He was eating and drinking.
So what kind of state of mind was he in?
Wasn't in his right state of mind. He was married.
What's that?
He was married.
Yeah, he was married. All right, okay, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I ain't want to say drunk.
He was very married.
Okay.
Once you get that liquor, once you get that oil in you, you feel a certain kind of way.
I understand.
That was King David's whole intent
Right.
to do.
Yeah.
He was running out of options. He wouldn't go on his own. So he was like, let's set up a party. Let's have a feast right here. Here you go, Uriah. Go ahead, take a sip of that.
One more sip.
Go ahead. Hey, he needs his cup refilled. You know what I'm saying? Don't let his cup get empty. That's an order. Don't let his cup get empty. Go ahead, Uriah. Go ahead, drink up. So he sat there in the midst of the king. And king made sure he had enough to eat. And he definitely made sure he had enough to drink. Because we all know what happens once we get that oil up in us. You got something, brother?
Yeah, I want to say before the, if I may, before the drunk part, with the he did eat and drink before him, like he was comfortable enough, he was comfortable. He had stayed there a couple, a little bit of time. He was comfortable when they took the offer this time. He was comfortable with it.
Well, no, he didn't take the offer because he wanted him to go to his house. He didn't want to go to his house.
Right.
He just wanted to stay with his brothers, the other soldiers, the other men. When he had to stay there in front of King David, he was with the other men. You know what I'm saying? If he was on the front line, King David was on the front line, and David told him to eat and drink, that's what he was doing. That's what he would have done because the other men were on the front line. So there is a bit of difference there because he was there with all the men, the rest of the soldiers. and not at his own house by himself with his rib. So that was the difference. Keep going.
And he made him drunk.
And he, I didn't even get to that. He made him drunk. he made sure he got that all up in him. Keep going.
And at even he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his Lord, but went not down to his house.
So he went out to lay in the barracks, lay in the streets where the other men, in the tents where the other soldiers were laying. Because he's a soldier. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go out, all right, well, I got, I'm looking up. Let me just, how close was he to his house? He said he laid up at by the gates of the temple. So how close was he to his house? Did he have to go far? Did he have to go way across town?
No.
Go to his house? How do we know that? You, brother. How do we know he was close to his crib?
The temple's always close to the community.
I mean, he was a soldier, so the soldiers stayed close to the castle.
Well, that's when they're encamped. That's when they're staying close. But his house was close.
Yeah. Gentleman, I would say be here in the class. He saw his wife from his rooftop.
Exactly, brother. He saw his wife. King David was walking on his roof, and he saw his wife. So that's how close he was to going home. Just, but he could have a stone throw away, where he could have just walked to his crib, and no one would have said anything because King David wanted him to do that. So he was that close to his house, but he chose to stay with the brothers. He chose to stay with the other soldiers at the base of the camp. Keep going.
Verse 14. And it came to pass in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah.
This is cold-blooded. We don't know what's going on. But I know what's going on. This cold-blooded. This is. He was like, he came back from the war, told his brother to go home, see his wife, sent him a bunch of food, and he did. Stayed a couple days, had a feast, made him drunk, told him, suggested to him to go home. He didn't do it. What's the next action?
Gotta go.
So this David, seeing how if he comes clean and if Israel finds out, he is going to be put to death, because that's according to the law. Him and Bathsheba is going to be put to death, and the unborn child is going to be put to death. They must die according to the law. And there's no one, well, not at this time, but there's no one more greater than following the law than there is David. David is a man after the Lord's Most High's own heart. He follows orders. He didn't follow this one. We're going to read on, see what's going to happen. So he sent a letter, and he told Uriah to give it to Joab. Right? Keep reading.
Verse 15. And he wrote in the letter, saying, set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die.
Whoa, hold on. Slack. Hey, bro, did you hit cap about the other brother's stuff?
No.
You hit cap about that? Yeah. So what is that, Dwyer? Appreciate it.
No, sir.
Can you what is this letter saying?
Put him on the front line. The action that.
So why is he saying put him on the front line?
Because front line guys die first. There's a greater chance for him to die.
What are you saying? What do you say?
He said
set up.
Set up for what?
I didn't see him.
Get rid of him.
Get rid of him. Okay, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading.
Verse 16. And it came to pass, when Joab observed the city, that he assigned Uriah unto a place where he knew that valiant men were.
So he observed the city, and he was like, man, this is where heavy hitters of that nation reside. So I know this. Keep going.
Verse 17. And the men of the city went out and fought with Joab, and there fell some of the people of the service of David, and Uriah the Hittite died also.
So he knew that this was where it was going to be the heaviest, fighting. So he's sitting right up there where, it was going to be heavy fighting.
Right.
And what was the end result? Death. Who should have died?
David.
Why?
Because he transgressed the law.
How did he transgress the law?
He slept with another man's wife.
All right. Yeah, exactly. But an innocent man was killed. An innocent man's blood was shed because someone was greedy. Even you can be a king, have everything, and still be greedy. You don't have to sleep with this man's wife. He was a king. Everybody, like I said, people were singing songs about him.
Okay.
He was the soldier's soldier. He was the top dog. If you went into battle with him, you knew you was going to come out victorious because he was with you, and the Most High was with him. You got something, brother?
He slept with his wife. He lied to him, and then he murdered him.
You got something, Barack? Damn right.
Salagi, if I may, and as well, this story right here is so heavy because it should be it should be as an example to all Israelites and to all Israel to understand, not to take advantage of the Lord's mercy. You know what I mean? If you're not there and you can read in our historical records where the Lord would have cut your head off or just, truly made an example out of you, and you still alive, you should be very grateful to understand what grace is and not look at what, the Christian church puts at what grace is. Grace is not some song and a tambourine. Grace just like at your job, is simply you have a certain time to get back to this post. And if you know that you did something that goes against this Bible, stories like this should help you understand. Like David, after that, got in sackcloth. You know what I'm saying? He was torn apart. He was ABC. Salaki.
Hold on.
Salaki.
According to the time, we're going to get that next week.
God, that was what. Salaki. My fault.
We're low on time. You know what?
We gonna roll it.
Yeah, I didn't even see the time. Man. Having a good old time.
Yeah.
Man. But you know what? Reading that scripture.
2 Samuel, chapter 11, verse 18. Then Joab sent and told David all the things concerning the war. Verse 19.
Let's end it right there.
That's the whole title for next.
Yeah, we're gonna pick up right here next week, and we're gonna see the aftermath of the murder. We're gonna see the aftermath of what's gonna happen to King David.
No sweat.
Anybody have any last questions or anything? Yeah, bro.
Man, I got a statement. I'm cheating when I go home. I'm gonna have big answers for you next week. I'll try to take it. I love a good story. I mean, you can't even call it cheating. I'm studying. Go ahead and study. I got some homework to do.
There ain't no story. That's history.
Exactly right. Anybody else have anything else before I pass the class off? No? All right. With that, I pass the class off to Chief Rock.
Right. The security announcements. We're the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves of the word. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, your brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. In the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means 10th in Hebrew and is pronounced my Ishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest Fund, the free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. The upcoming Holy Convocation is the Lord's 52nd annual Passover that will be held in Houston, Texas of 2021 on April 24th, which is a Saturday in Houston, Texas. Make sure, brothers and sisters, Akwath and Akwathian, to pay your $200 Passover fund first, then get your transportation and your staying quarters together down in Houston, Texas. Make sure you plan ahead of time as far as your travel, your plane, train, driving. Any questions, comments, or concern revolving around getting down to the Passover. You want to make sure you stay in close contact with your camp leader. Also, April 22nd will be the annual slaughter of the lamb, which will also be in Houston, Texas, on April 22nd of 2021. Is there anything you want to add on that?
If you're able to get down to the slaughter of the lamb and you're able to actual purchase a lamb, by the way, there's gonna be plenty of lamb down there.
Damn right.
There's gonna be plenty of lamb. You have something.
Do we actually get to purchase the lamb that we can actually?
Yes. If you are actually wanting to go down there to purchase the lamb and have it slaughtered and harvest some meat to it, you can do that. There's going to be plenty of opportunity to do that down there as well. There's something about actually slaughtering the lamb that you're actually going to eat, because most of us, I pray that most of us ain't really kill anything but like roaches. You know what I'm saying?
No.
There's something different about actually slaughtering, a lamb. Not just a lamb, but slaughtering something that you're going to consume. You know what I'm saying? For you to actually take a life, that's something that not even just this generation, but just this people in this time period have never done. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, a lot of us has never even seen a life being taken aside from World Star or whatever we've seen on TV, a movie or something like that. Most of us, I say.
Right.
Most of us have never seen something like that. And to actually experience it, just watching it, it's one thing. To actually, slaughter a lamb, doing it yourself, that's another thing. If you're able to go down there and actually participate and do that, I suggest you do that. Get down there and make your way down there and actually do it for yourself. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
So, look, if I may add a couple things, just to reiterate on the $200 fee for the Passover event, it is $200 per person, 17 and above, and as well, ending with those events. Tonight is Monday night, Commanding General YAHANNA Black Watch radio show. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe on the YouTube. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe once again to support this truth. Once again, Commander General YAHANNA will be going live tonight on this Black Watch channel. What is it, 9 to 11? 9 p.m. Eastern time to 11 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you tune in, like, share, subscribe for Commander General YAHANNA's Black Watch radio show tonight.
Yes, sir, bro.
Yes, sir. Come. That I think it's One West, whatever the Cash App is for the Passover fund. It's not working, and I first tried it like 3 months ago. Then another couple of people tried it about a week and a half ago. So I tried it again, and it still didn't work. So I might have to bring cash in tomorrow. So if they are, is it an updated? Because I think it's like One West, One West Ties, something like that.
There is something that has been updated. You know what it is?
No, I was gonna say something else.
What's up?
No, I was gonna say just for all the brothers and sisters that may be having troubles with the online access. If it is possible to bring it in cash, try to take that route as well. If not, make sure you definitely make that phone call or a text message of some sort of reaching out to get that answer so we can figure out how to get those funds, and they're very important and on time and everything else above. But other than that, if it's possible to get it in cash, envelope, or anything else above, any other way, money order, anything else like above, let's try to take that route. Other than that, like stay in close contact with the camp leader on dealing with, issues revolving around the funds, and it's, having a hard time actually getting it transferred over.
Right. There is if you can, bring in the cash. I suggest you do that for the other people that you said you had other people trying to
right.
Do it.
Correct.
There is a Zelle information. I'll get that for you, where you can use the Zelle, and the Zelle is used through the banking app. So whatever bank you have, about 9 out of 10 of them have the Zelle connected to them. All you have to do is go through like pay bill or send money, and it should be an option for Zelle there. I'll give you the exact information for Zelle to send for the Passover.
Okay. Wow.
What's that? No, just
with that, remind the Hakim and Akwathians to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If your brother wants to be a troop in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headband, and scarf. And with that, I say Amajim, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Baqashyah, Yahweh Shah Barakatah.
Yahweh Baqashyah, Yahweh Shah Barakatah.
Yahweh Matah. Glasses, Mitch.
The Lord loved us so much that in our poverty, in our hell, I'm going to come and deliver the broken, destroyed, messed up, poor, impoverished people. I'm going to.
Yo niggas ain't tough. Yo niggas ain't tough. Yo niggas ain't tough.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Yahweh Baqashyah, Yahweh Shah Barakatah. Yahweh Shema Allah Thug Baqashyah, Yahweh Shah to all the sisters, man. Listen, it's Captain 13,000, a card of a rhyme, checking in with the Israelite School of UPK under Commander General
Power, and you know we not no cowards. Oh, you on that?
Listen, man, this year's 52nd annual Passover. Hold on. I'm gonna say it one more time. This year's 52nd annual Passover under Commander General YAHANNA under the I.S.U.P.K. Couldn't do it last year. Y'all already know the Lord had his foot on our oppressor's neck.
Here in New York City, there are roughly 1,000 cases a day. Those are numbers they haven't seen since May.
Can't do it in New York this year because the Lord still got his foot on our oppressor's neck.
New York, the center of the outbreak this spring, is now teetering on another deadly explosion of the virus.
But listen to me good. This year, 52nd annual Passover, April 24th, 2021. You understand? It's gonna be in H-Town, baby.
It's gonna be at the B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do. Huh?
2021, I.S.U.P.K, 52nd annual Passover. All the generals gonna be there. All the heavy hitters gonna be there. The daughters of Zion gonna step out with their beautiful long dresses, you understand? Strong on deck. That One West style music on deck. 52nd annual Passover.
B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Get with it to get lost, man.
Got it out the mud, straight up out the base. The world done made me crazy. The world done turned crazy. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the Lord of course. On one accord. We ain't never stopping now. You running now. All my niggas go to ground. We go.
Shalom. Baqashyah, 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 to the sisters. I'm Prince and Captain TITHES with Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, telling you to come out to the 52nd annual Passover under Commander General YAHANNA. Yeah, man, it's going to be at the ranch, man, the BH ranch. And it's going to be a glorious event. April 24th, come to Houston, Texas, where we're going to serve the Lord the way He's supposed to be served. You understand? We're going to celebrate the destruction of our enemy in the BH ranch, and it's going to be a glorious event. Make sure you come out, man. It's going to be a $200 fee to get in, but let me tell you something. You're going to enjoy yourself. This is going to be the best event you've ever been to in your life. So I'm going to tell you, man, 14149 Player Street, come out, man, and enjoy the brotherhood and sisterhood under Christ. With that, shalom.